been a few weeks here. Episode 29, Super Smoke Bros. I'm here with the bros right now, and we were discussing things here before we hit record, and we really haven't dived into MeatFest, which happened in May, like a month ago, over a month ago. So we're gonna dive into that a little bit because some really cool things have happened from that for the Super Smoke Bros and for the barbecue world in Wisconsin, and then dive into what we've been firing up and some things to look forward to coming up with the Smoke Bros here. So um, I'll start off. Let's see. Sheehan, you're the biggest person on our screen right now. So I think I'm going to start off with you. Think
Love it.
about this we've talked a lot about the Meat Fest, but what's a highlight or some of the highlights that you came away with Meat Fest that if
Yeah.
someone wasn't there would really want to know?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect coming into it. And it ended up being a lot bigger and a lot more people than I thought it would be. So it was a lot of fun. Just, people stopping by the booth, talking to them about what we do and handing out some swag and stuff like that. Our location was pretty awesome. Getting to talk to Burn Pit Barbecue. Um, he's an awesome guy, and they do great work, and also getting to a view of the kids cook-offs, the kids cooking competitions. I think that was probably my favorite part, seeing the young kids make grilled cheese, and I can't remember what the other one was. um,
Yeah, yeah.
but that was definitely a highlight for me, just kind of talking with the people and watching the kids cook.
Yeah, the definitely. And for those of you, if you're just getting caught up, or maybe on episode 27, we actually had Ben from Burn Pit Barbecue on, and he was right next to us. Great dude. Definitely highly recommend hit up his that episode, and then buy some of his stuff from his store. Great all natural spices, no
Yeah.
additives or anything like that.
It's great stuff. It's really good.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, those are some good things. PD, what do you remember? Does Sheehan steal all your thunder?
Nope, a lot of the same stuff. We all went in not knowing what to expect, and it was fun. One thing that stands out in my mind is it was a beautiful day outside, and maybe an hour or two after we got there, they opened up the big garage doors to the outside, and the smells started wafting in, and all the food trucks are lined up. Um, Amazing things going on there. So, of course, there was good food inside, but
Oh yeah,
yeah, plenty to do outside too.
for sure. For sure, that's the good points. I think of the outside, and I didn't get out there too often, only once, and met our boys from Dead Oak Barbecue,
Yeah.
Yep.
and as who we'll have on the podcast here coming up in the future too as well. But yeah, it was cold inside. We had hoodies on, but it was super nice outside. Super nice,
Yeah.
super nice. Mr.
Yeah.
Berlin, you have a great story about one of the people we met at Meat Fest.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll kind of start from the beginning. You and I, Z, drove up together, and it's kind of one of those weird things where we just kept talking about how we don't know what to expect.
Yeah,
I've never been to something like this, and we're just a bunch of teachers, podcasters, going to this fest, and we're gonna sit in a booth, and who's gonna know who the heck we are? So I didn't really know what to expect, but right out of the gates, when that first hour when they let the VIPs in or whatever it was. Right out of the gates, people were stopping by, talking to us, curious about who we were, just a real friendly environment. Yeah. And then once those doors opened, they opened it up. That's when the smell started coming in. And that's when it really hit me. I'm like, wow, this is going to be a cool day. It's a nice day. A lot of good conversation. Like you said, we were next to Ben from Burn Pit Barbecue. It was almost kind of a match made in heaven.
yeah.
That was I right away. I mean, I think we might have been his first customers. Right
We
out
were.
get some of those rubs. And he had exactly what I was looking for. The sweet and spicy is always my favorite, and he said that was his best one. I said, well, that means I'm getting it. So got one of those. Then as we're walking around outside by the food truck, and all of a sudden, this grill catches my attention, and I kind of did. It was like when I met my wife in college, like the double take. It's like, what's that over there? We kind of wandered down, and it was that wood fire grill. They had one going out there, and it just was. It it still blows my mind thinking about it, how he makes those custom built out of
Yeah.
propane tanks, the design, the attention to detail, the themes that he puts on it. I was like, I got to get one of those. I was hooked. I was already on his website by the time, we were walking back in, and, then also you walk in, and right behind us is their like double booth. And I'm taking pictures of all these grills, because they basically they purpose as a smoker. You can grill on an open fire on it. You can bake in it, and I was just in awe with the engine, the ingenuity bit behind it and the design behind it. So I couldn't help myself, and I got a hold of Scott at Woodfire Grill, called him up, and we talked for at least a half an hour over the phone just about MeatFest and about all different grills and how much I thought his grills were awesome because they look cool. They were they were durable, perfect for Wisconsin. They're thick walled propane tank. And I said, Scott, I got to get one of those. So he's got something in line for me that I'll be purchasing from him. He's not telling me what it is. He says it's gonna be like a reveal. He's just gonna tell me when it's done, and I'm gonna drive up there and he's gonna reveal it to me. So I'm super jacked about it.
Oh, that's super cool. I remember walking in, and because I go into our booth for one of the times or whatever we were doing, and I saw that the PBR grill, and I'm like, I want that. I want that. As one of my person I always have looked up to my whole entire life is both my grandfathers, my grandfather Putsy, and he was a PBR guy, so it's kind of nostalgic, and I'm like, I need one of those. They're super cool.
That's so ironic you said that, because the one that caught my eye is because of my father-in-law. He's a farmer, and they had that farm all grill all decked out. I thought, man, if I could get that one, my father-in-law might live at my house if I had that. I'm stoked. I'm stoked to see what he can do. He's just a great guy. I highly recommend checking him out on woodfiregrill.com, checking out the designs. And that's not the only thing they make. There's all kinds of things they make, that I'll kind of save the suspense, and you can check it out yourself. But a lot of different products, custom design, and honestly, for a custom design, high quality product at a really good price. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, you would think like something like that. Like, take example, I'm in love with the Yoders. I love Yoder, American made. You're paying $3, $4, $5 for those.
Yep.
You're not paying. This is arguably just as good, if not better.
Yep.
And you are not paying nearly the price of the Yoder. Nope. You're just paying maybe $1,500, at the most.
Completely customizable too.
Yeah, and he customizes it 2 years. So I mean, if you're in, and I think Brian, you said it too, with the thicker propane walls, it's easier to maintain temperature. Yep. So if you're a novice and you're like, I don't want to, with ours that we have, Brian, that was made by our kids, it's awesome. But because our burn box isn't as thick, it's harder to keep that temperature. Yep. And I think with his grills, it's totally different. It makes it easier. So if you're in the market, man, check it out.
Yeah.
He has such cool things,
Yeah. And in his words, the possibilities are endless when it comes to the customization of it. So, I was impressed by him. Just a really good, down to earth, humble guy, easy to talk to. Obviously loves barbecuing as well. Loves the barbecue world, and man, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And this going as you guys have been talking about different things, of just like the people popping in my head of that we met that I totally forgot to just start really recapping the MeatFest. And ultimately talk about the guy that was to the, let's see, burn pit was, if you're looking at our booth, was to the left. The guy to the right of us, Rebeck's Cutlery. The night, he was a cool dude. He had the beard, and he was just down. He had beard and he's snuffing, and he was loving life. And he actually made, there's that one, I can't remember the chef, the big chef that was there in the Green Bay area. I think he's like a personal chef for some of the Packers and stuff like that. And he gets all his knives. And so what I loved is I sat down and talked to him and learned about actually the construction of knives and like like how to sharpen knives. You know, he was telling me stories of that he has like some big time chefs that get all the knives and they get new knives every year. And he's like, they don't have to get new knives. They just think they know how to sharpen them. They don't, and they like wear them down, and then they need them. So we want to get him. So I'm not going to save a little bit because I know he's going to come on to the podcast too and talk about cut our knives and what ones to use. But I went to him and I'm like, hey, I need a trimming knife, man. I trim a lot of brisket. I trim a lot of my chicken thighs today. I trim everything. Everyone does. I go, but I want a really good one. And so you need some flexibility with that blade, but you want something durable. And he took me to this one right here. He's like, it's not the most expensive. He's like, it's not the Damastics or whatever that type of steel is. He's like, nope, this is what you need right here. And then he threw another knife in for free for me too. One of those big, like the carnivore knives, they call them, caveman knives. He threw that in too as well. And so Rebec's Cutlery, if you check it out, if you need, call him, email him. Great dude. He'll talk to you and give you all the advice you need. And what I loved about him is like he could have sent me to the most expensive one, and he did it. He just, this is what you need. This is why you need it. But quickly, when we'll have him out, have him talk about it. But you think knife is just like a very, very sharp edge, and actually knives are like crisscross like this, and you have to like sharpen them a certain way. So these and when knives go dull, they go like this, and it's hard to get them back. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's why they always say like, usually 15 degrees angle to sharpen your knives at and stuff. Or if it's a bigger, thicker knife, it's usually 10 degrees. That's because that cross hatching doesn't it stays like this instead of go like this. So I thought that was crazy cool. I like the debt. Go ahead.
The one, not to interrupt you, but the one.
No, go ahead.
I don't know what you guys thought, but probably the most rewarding part of that whole MeatFest for me, at least, and I'm probably thinking you guys the same, was being on those panels.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my next step. Yep.
100%.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I'm sitting up there, all of a sudden I'm kind of thinking as everyone else is talking, thinking like, all of us were in those people's position not very long ago. Meaning very novice, very inexperienced, not, just looking to get tips on, just simple, basic barbecuing, smoking techniques or tricks or anything that you could get. I remember, that was me, just after COVID. So it wasn't that long ago. So that was kind of rewarding just to be able to pass that knowledge on to people that obviously were very passionate about getting into barbecuing, and especially smoking meats.
Yeah, it was definitely like kind of humbling, seeing people like react to the things that we were saying, to the answers to their questions, and they were really like taking it in and really like valuing what we were saying. It was pretty cool.
Even my brother, like on the way up, I was telling him we're going to be on these panels and, we're at this MeatFest and people are going to be asking us questions. And he's kind of like, why are they asking you guys questions? You guys don't in any barbecue competitions. You don't do any of that stuff. I'm kind of like, that's true. I don't know. We, definitely with the people that we've met and the knowledge we've gained, even just recently, like that was nice to pass that along as well. So it was fun. That was definitely fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. That was one of the things that resonated with me with that panel. Hey, Brian, we just talked about the first time. Right here is my barbecue journal. And the first time I did brisket, I had this thing open. I was taking notes from you. Remember that? You're on the phone with me for like an hour. And, so it wasn't too long ago, But people kept on saying that they felt that we were real, which is, I think, a huge compliment, because we're doing this for fun and for teachers, like we always say, but they like didn't feel intimidated by us.
Right.
And then they because what's we had the last episode, like Brian and you and I, we had Johnny Rad on, and he's not a pellet smoker, dude. That's for sure. Yeah. But the majority of the people at MeatFest are pellet smokers. Majority of amateur barbecuers are, and there's nothing wrong with that. Stephen Kenya, when we had him on, even said the same thing. There's nothing wrong with it. You can get great bark. You can do these things, you know. It's more convenient, and I think that's what people. I mean, I don't know if you guys, that one lady who asked us tons of questions, followed me back to the booth, and I was writing things down for her notebook on how to cook things and stuff, you know. I think that was that is like by far the best our MeatFest. And what was crazy was we had, you know, the first one was good. We had maybe like 30, maybe 20, 30 people there asking us questions. But then one, the chefs didn't show. There's two stages: interactive stage, which is smaller, but people were more interactive with you. And then there's the big stage, like you're up on stage with the mirrors and everything like that. And one of the chefs didn't show up, and Amy came to me and said, "Can you guys go on?" And I'm like, I think Berlin, were you next to me when she came up to me, or was anybody? I can't remember. And I'm like, when? She's like, now. I'm like, okay. She's like, your teachers, just go do your thing. And we did. And actually, and then it was packed at the end.
That was my favorite session.
Yeah. They were just asking questions about brisket, about pork shoulder butt, because that's what the everyday person, that's what we start off with, and that's what we want to get good at. And so it was awesome out there, kind of surreal for, you know, like, can't believe I'm up here they're asking me questions, like you said, Berlin. It's crazy.
And going back to the pellet smokers, like thinking about it even more, if you're a beginning smoker, if money's not an option, like I would highly recommend starting out on a pellet smoker just to remove some of the variables, you know, because it's easier to control the temp, you know. So it's like, you know, with those burn boxes, you know, things, it takes a while to get. That's a science, you know, getting the airflow right, knowing how much fuel to put in to get the right temp, and you know, with the pellet smokers, man, that takes out a lot of tough variables when it comes to smoking food. So I would, I mean, if someone was beginning, I would highly recommend using a pellet smoker to start.
And here's the thing, like, how much did you pay for yours, Sheehan? Your pellet smoker?
$140 on Facebook Marketplace, and it looks great.
Yeah. I mean, you can go on Facebook Marketplace, and you can even find some for free, and all you gotta do is replace the auger, which is super easy to do. I mean, so you can get into it for relatively, you know, inexpensive. And Berlin, you made a great point. It takes the variables of controlling your temperature out, so you can focus on preparing your meat, on cooking it, learning how long it has to go, and what it smells like, and you know what it looks like, and when you should spritz it, and all those when you should wrap it, all those sorts of things, you know. And so no, that's definitely. And so, yeah, that was probably the best thing about MeatFest. And then, like, Amy came to us right away and was like, we want you back. And so we have some ideas. She hasn't come back to me about my ideas yet, but I'm still waiting. But
already counting down the days till next year. Can't wait.
Yeah, because I told her that we should like do on the main stage, and like how to prepare a brisket, how to prepare a pork shoulder butt, you know, and show them how to prepare it. You know, obviously. Maybe have a smoker out there and cook it outside. We'll see, you know, but at least to show people, because I think they would really, at least the crowd we had, they would really benefit from that so much, you know, as we all would. So,
and we could even make a brisket and throw it in a cooler, bring it up ahead of time. And then, you know, and then just show how to prep, and then give out samples.
Cut it in this. And hopefully not get in trouble. So but no, I did do research on that, the insurance thing, and I got it. I know what to do now, so we're good. But yeah, you know, one thing too that stuck out to me, I wrote down in my notes here, Brian, and you really took the lead on this one. We got to watch the kids cooking competition, and Chef Aiden, the winner, and you got to interview him. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Chef Aiden shocked me. I mean, I remember when his it had to be his grandmother would be my guess. And mom came they were kind of walking by our booth, and he was kind of tagging along, and they're like, yeah, he's competing in the first round of the kids comp. Like, oh, good luck. You know, maybe we can get an interview with you afterwards, you know, not thinking like, okay, this kid's going to win this thing. That we're talking to the winner ahead of time. And then we started watching, but he was well prepared. He knew exactly what he was doing. And then, I mean, my favorite part about my interview with him was when he signed off. He had like a sign off. So he's got his own YouTube page and he had his own sign off. And it was something, you know, like I don't know, PD, do you remember what it was? Make something about making people.
Making good food.
Yeah.
Good food for good people or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm like, we might be talking to a celebrity here. Like and then he just kind of walked it off and I was like, all right, see you later. Nice job. You know,
well, do you see that he's like him and his dad do like pork shoulder butts and make sandwiches and sell them.
Oh, really?
I saw him on Instagram with that too. No, he was cool. I was so excited for him, you know, and all those kids, like you could tell that they were prepping because even I didn't know this. I should know it maybe. Like they always covered their grilled cheese when they're cooking it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, you know, and stuff like that. But the talent level and what they're aspiring to be, and I think the second winner was Seabass. Was it? Was that who it was? They call him Seabass. So that was really nice, you know. And our colleague Josiah was up with his family, and they only expected to stay there for like an hour, and they were there all day because what a great job MeatFest does with making a family-friendly environment where the kids are entertained and you know parents are definitely entertained and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, that was another thing. My wife was like, "Oh, like maybe I'll come up," and I was like, "I don't know. I don't know if you'd want to bring the kids. They probably wouldn't have very much fun." And then I got there and I was like, "Oh, the kids would have loved it here." So shout out to MeatFest for their ability to put on a good event.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be interesting for the kids. The cooking show, they had a video game system set up across the booth.
Yeah.
Booth across from us. I don't know. I mean, if you really get that bored of the MeatFest, there's Lambeau Field right next door. Go get a tour.
Even like I had a bunch of family, my father and a bunch of my friends from Upper Michigan came down, and they were there, and they were blown away. They like, we didn't expect this, you know, and I don't think we expected it either. So it was pretty awesome, you know. PD, as you're talking, you know, we'll kind of wrap up MeatFest here, but you interviewed, was it Two Heads Hot Sauce? Was it?
Yeah.
How did that one go? He was a neat story.
Trying to remember the whole story. She and I were there together.
Yeah, it was him and another guy. I can't remember their whole story. But it was a good talk. They're based out of Kewaskum. And when I went up there, I was not planning to buy anything because I had already spent more money than my allowance was for the day. But they had this raspberry chipotle barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
That I sampled and I just had to buy it. I've been used that for some pulled pork recently. But yeah, they were super cool, really genuine, great people, just kind of humble beginnings and kind of people, everyday people like us that are just trying to sell rubs and sauces and doing a good job of it.
Yeah, I want to say they were relatively new to the game too.
It seemed like that he bought into it or bought the company.
Yeah.
And so he was new to it and just trying to get out there and stuff. But you know, he had a lot of people are buying stuff from him.
Yeah, they did very well, I know.
And we had to meet Edgar, another one of the second third of Tailgate Foodie. So that was cool to meet Edgar and get and things. So
speaking of, I just used that rub tonight on my chicken. They have that. It was the new one.
Oh, the new one, yeah.
The new collaboration with Mexican spices.
Is that like pineapple in it?
Yeah.
The pineapple really comes through with that.
Is that good?
Oh yeah.
I haven't tried it yet.
I use it for some fajitas a little recently. It was good.
So so a lot of good things. Highly recommend, especially if you're in the state of Wisconsin or near. You know, next year MeatFest, we'll be there again. We'll be putting on our podcast when it is and things like that. But just great opportunity to like a small Midwestern area. Just good people, good food, good conversation. Hands down. And so, kind of moving on from there, it's been some time. It's been a few weeks since we had, I think, since episode 28 and Johnny Rad. So maybe if what have we been up to? You know, our lives have been busy and stuff like that. But what have we cooked up on that smoker, that grill? Whoever wants to start us off.
I'll start. Not anything really groundbreaking. I haven't tried anything new. Been busy over the summer. You know, got things going on the weekends, but just used Burn Pit Barbecue's rubs on some ribs. Again, it was the second weekend in a row I did ribs with their rubs because I just couldn't get enough of it the first time.
Yeah.
One thing that I did try, which was new, I smoked queso for the 4th of July. We went up to my brother and sister-in-law in Kakana, and I smoked queso the way I always do. And I think that recipe might be on the website or something, or if not, I can get it on the Instagram page. But they grilled burgers and hot dogs, and I got this brilliant idea to put some of that queso on a hot dog, and it was life-changing. It was amazing. Every time I smoke queso, I'm gonna have to make hot dogs to go with it, and I'm probably just not gonna use chips anymore. I'm just gonna like cut up slice of hot dogs and use those as the.
Well, you might as well put the hot dog right in it.
Yeah. So that was good, and it was kind of inspirational. It was after we had just watched Joey Chestnut down 70.5 hot dogs.
American hero.
Yeah, greatest athlete of all time, most dominant.
There you go. That's your next adventure, Sheehan. Hot dog eating time for you.
Well, actually, this is kind of not related, but I saw a good hypothetical that I want to get your guys' opinions on. There's a race, and the race is you have to eat a hot dog and then run 100 meters. And who would win, Joey Chestnut or Usain Bolt?
I know that answer.
I don't know.
I got Chestnut.
Yeah, I did.
Well, just one?
One hot dog.
I got Chestnut. I mean, if it was a 400, a 400
yeah,
is different.
Right? And then, like, what's the distance where it evens out? I don't know. I might take Bolt. Joey Chestnut is not the most athletic guy, and I'm thinking he's running at the fastest, like a 20-second 100. And Bolt's running
like
Bolt's
sounds like a first day of school science class.
Yeah. And if Chestnut can put a hot dog down in like 4 seconds, and Bolt, if he can do it in 14, he could catch him. I don't know.
That's a tough one. It's a good point.
It is.
Okay, say that again. So I'm trying to. I want to see what ChatGTP says here. So, all right, who would win in a race between Usain Bolt and Joey Chestnut, in which they have to eat a hot dog first?
Eat a hot dog first. Completely eat it, swallow it, and then run a 100-meter dash.
Taking Joey, best athlete.
Yeah, I might lean towards Joey, but I don't know.
He's got to the 200. Yeah,
200. Yeah,
that might be
he's taking a long time. He's getting at his age.
He's the fastest man in the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so who's got Berlin? You got Joey Chestnut.
Joey Chestnut.
Sheehan?
I think I'm going Bolt. I think he could finish a hot dog in less than 10 seconds after Chestnut could finish a hot dog.
Yeah.
Like the same hot dogs as in the competition.
Sure.
Yeah.
But just one.
Yeah.
PD? Joey Chestnut, for sure. That's my vote. I was just going to see if he's on athletic.net.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got some stats on there.
Yeah, good.
The dude is jacked, though. I mean, if you ever seen, he's jacked. He works out.
Yeah.
I'm going Usain Bolt. That he can eat. Yeah, Usain Bolt all the way.
Yeah, I think he can eat a hot dog fast enough to catch up. But I don't know. I think 100 is a good point. Or if it's 2 hot dogs, I think it's Chestnut for sure. If it's more than 100 meters, I think it's Bolt for sure. But right at this spot, I don't know.
So we got Chat GTP here. So so here's what Chat GTP said. That's a fun and oddly balanced matchup. Usain Bolt versus Joey Chestnut in a hot dog plus 100-meter dash race. Well, let's break it down. The race rules: both competitors begin behind a table with one fully loaded hot dog. Step 2, eat the hot dog completely, bun, dog, and toppings. Step 2, as soon as they swallow the last bite, they sprint 100 meters. First across the finish line wins. All right. So head-to-head breakdown. Category: Usain Bolt, hot dog eating time, 10 to 15 seconds. 100-meter sprint time, 9.58 seconds. Okay.
He's not running.
All right. Yeah. So, and then Joey
That's super
Chestnut.
close.
So Joey Chestnut, hot dog eating time, 3 to 5 seconds.
Oh,
100-meter sprint time, 20 plus seconds.
What?
That's what it says.
Yeah, I think
17 to 20 plus
slow.
seconds.
He's in good shape. Like, he can run faster than that.
So Usain Bolt's time, according to the estimated combined time for Usain Bolt, is 20. He would finish it in 21.7 seconds. Joey Chestnut would finish it in 23 seconds. The winner, Usain Bolt, but barely.
All right.
That's
They got a
funny.
video? Did they do like a simulation? Do they have it on there?
No, they don't.
Like an AI simulation of it?
I think this just needs to happen. We need to get the word out.
Yeah, it does. It's like the 100 men or a gorilla thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I totally lost track of everything there. All right.
That
So
was my
Pete,
4th of July.
That's awesome though. I love it. Petey, what's been I know you've been a busy man, you know,
Yeah.
world traveler like always. And but you did get a little time in the barbecue pit, I hear.
Yeah, just yesterday, really. So yeah, I was traveling a lot, and then yesterday, you know, we're finally home, and my wife gave me the challenge of well, let's eat everything out of our pantry and freezer. Let's not spend any more money.
Yep.
So I ended up making some smoked mac and cheese yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And I took a couple tips from our guests. Like one was like roasting the noodles in the oven for a minute, and then the other one is doing the noodles in chicken broth instead of just water. So in the end, success. I just tried a bite of it. My kids ate it all up, and it was good. It was easy. It was like 5 ingredients or something like that. It was quick and easy.
Nice.
Yeah, we should do some kind of challenge where the 4 of us are just live on YouTube or something like that, and just like, okay, we have 5 ingredients. Look, what can we make or something? That's that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I never did my noodles in chicken broth. I always do it in heavy cream. I pour my noodles right in heavy cream and do it. And but I never tried chicken broth. That sounds good.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah,
Mr. Berlin.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds good, Petey.
I've been speaking of hot dogs, eating a lot of hot dogs recently. Watching my son and daughter play baseball. My 9-year-old son Braden, he's plays for 2 baseball teams this year, a traveling team and a little league team. So it's kind of like he probably plays baseball 5 out of 7 days a week, at least. Depends how they do on the weekends and the tournament. So like I haven't had a lot of time to do much. I recently, so over the 4th of July weekend, a family friend, they had their 50th wedding anniversary party.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like
Congratulations.
Bash, and they hired a local I guess culinary place that did a whole pig.
Oh, nice.
Right in front of us. And they had like a custom built propane tank. So like they did it over coals and wood first, and then they have they turn it into like a heating chamber. They close it up, and then it's propane fed as well. Kind of a custom build. It's kind of cool. Kind of a cool design, actually. Like a pull trailer kind of model. And then they had all the side, the baked beans with beef in it. They served stuffing with sausage in it. It was phenomenal. Everything was really good. So talked to that guy a little bit that was doing it. Learned some a little bit about doing whole pigs. I'm not very in tune with whole pig process. I know Z, you've done
It's tough.
multiple times. Yeah. So it's kind of cool just to kind of pick his brain a little bit, watching him pull apart a pig in like 10 minutes was unbelievable. Like, I'm like, wow, like just with his hands, just boom, 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 cut up the skin, it was unbelievable. Like how fast he did it, pulled apart, done, boom, done. But tonight I did bacon wrapped thick cut pork chops. I reverse seared them with a little of the Alfregoni chimichurri seasoning on it. Really good, really, really juicy, really just a light smoke flavor. The bacon was like slightly crispy and soft on the outside. I mean, my kids and wife just gobbled it up. So it was gone in 5 minutes. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Really probably best pork chop I've ever made. Not necessarily the best pork chop I've ever had, but definitely the best pork chop I've ever made.
Nice. That sounds good.
So, quick question about this pig. I'm interested. Did they have the pig? Was it up like a running, what they say, a running style pig, or was it like they cut the backbone and like split it open and lay it down?
No, it was no. So I don't know. I think they started it. I honestly don't remember. I don't think it was opened up. Not that I can remember. No.
Yeah. So more like a running pig. So so when they got done, was the skin all like that brown mahogany, and then they like opened it up and started to
And he just peeled the whole back skin off like one piece, and then just cut it up into pieces, and we were just grabbing and eating it while he was.
Yeah, it was so good. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I did them both ways, and like the first time I tried it was laying it on its back with cutting the spine open, and I kept on mopping it. Rodney Scott. That's what Rodney Scott does. And just mopping it. And that was awesome. And then I tried the running pig standing up. I made a little cinder block thing to put it on, and that turned out really good too. I think I like the mop better, but I can't remember. So they're both good. So I was just curious about that. So let's see. Well, I was a couple of weeks ago, I was up at the cabin. They're putting and I fired up Big Mama smoker and did some pork belly burnt ends and some poor man burnt ends, and those on Big Mama. I love cooking on that monster. That's an old propane tank, is what it is, and that was great. But today I went back to like one of the first things I ever did. And I know, Brian, I got this tip from you, is like you got from your buddy, hopefully we can have on the podcast, where
he'll be on here,
you peel the skin off and you scrape the fat off the back of the skin on the chicken thigh. And then I trimmed them up, and I got them pretty close to pillows. There's kind of a longer pillow, so I got to work on cutting them up. But I went back to that, and man, those are so good. When you can bite through the skin with one clean bite, man, there's nothing beats it. I made 12 of them and ate 5. So it was a good day. It was a good day.
You say that again, say that again. You take the skin back and you...
Yeah. So what you do, and I got this from Brian, you take the skin off and you flip it down so the backside of the skin is facing up, and I take the knife and I just score all the fat off of it. And I get it, and then I trim up and get all the that white fat from that's on the chicken, that doesn't render down. I cut all that off and I try to shape it up a little bit. And sometimes there's just like knuckle bone. I'll take that out, and then I can get a nice looking pillow shape. But I was too lazy today. I didn't take them out. Yeah. And then I season the meat, and I put a little bit of butter on it, and then I put the skin back on, and then season the top of the skin. Yeah. And so if you ever look at those competition, it looks like a pillow. That's what they do. They're just way better at it than I am. That's all.
It's a great contrast of like texture with the crisp skin and the dark meat of the thick chicken thighs.
It's so good. So good. And then lastly, Colin can jump in on this one too. So our principal, Mike Nixon, asked us to help him out a little bit, asked Colin and I to help him out and smoke some food for his son's graduation party. So we did that a couple weeks ago, and 30 some people, a couple of briskets, a couple of pork shoulder butts, and that went really well. So I actually came back from the Outer Banks, got home at midnight, I got everything ready, threw the briskets on at about 1:30 more in the morning. And eventually about 5 a.m. I had like 4 smokers going in my backyard. It was pretty cool. But that turned out pretty well. So that was kind of a different experience for, that many people, and where you're like, "Ooh, did I make enough food? Is this good?" Thank goodness for my wife, Jessica, who was like phenomenal at making baked beans. She helped out with baked beans, and which made my life a lot easier too. So, but how do you feel about that, Colin?
Yeah, it was fun. I've never made food that like wasn't for myself or like for like my family that I was hosting or anything like that. So it was a whole different kind of like, I don't know if I want to say pressure, but I wanted it to be good.
Yeah.
And I was a little anxious. I brought it over. I brought the porks over there, still wrapped in the cooler, and I was like, as I was taking them out, I was like, "Oh, please be good, please be good." And they turned out good. Pretty much the way I wanted them. So that was a relief. But I mean, I'll never forget. Shoot, what's his name? What was his son's name?
Evan.
Evan, yeah. Evan's buddies, like the look on their eyes when they saw the kind of buffet lined up with what we had.
It was. So
like,
that was
they
cool.
were
It was,
happy.
definitely. So who knows, maybe it'll lead to catering business someday, but we'll see. There's a lot of hoops you got to jump through for that. So, but no, that was another adventure that we, try to help Mike out. He's a great principal and does a great job and supporting us. So we try to help him out a little bit. So I was exhausted though. I was exhausted. So, well, that kind of wraps up episode 29. A couple of things down the road here, guys. We have Blazing Star Barbecue, big time barbecue out of, I gotta say, Montana too. He's related to Stephen Kenya, not related, but he's in that group with Stephen Kenya, and so we got him coming on, and we actually have one of our Wisconsin's own here in Chris Shem. And Chris Shem might not be a big name in the barbecue world to people, but if you watch the Food Network, a couple of years ago, they had a competition where they had the NFL tailgate takedown, where they had like each NFL team had a representative about what food they would tailgate, and they had a competition, and he actually won it. And he's the guy that teamed up with Tailgate Foodie and has that rub out and things like that. So he's going to be on too. We've got a couple more in the works. I know the grill from the Woodfire Grill is going to be on here. The knife person. We also have there's actually a charcoal and pellet company up in Crivets, Wisconsin, and I've been in touch with him, and Smoking Woods Barbecue, and he's going to be on. So we got some good episodes coming up. It's just summer is really busy, and it's hard to get like Blazing Star has like, we've been going on, and it's been like 3 or 4 times we now it's July 30th. It's just, that's just life, especially in the barbecue world. This is the big time. So we got things coming up here though, and I know anything else you want to talk about, or maybe I know Brian, you might have reached out to some people too as well, or anything coming down the path here, or anybody know you're going to be putting something on the smoker here in the upcoming future.
Well, I'll just say again, I'll remind that I'll have my good buddy from high school. I'll have him on with my brother as kind of a dueling backyard barbecue interview.
Awesome.
But Shingy, who that infamous guy is, he's the one that really got me started, which kind of, so he's kind of the source, I feel like, for some of this stuff. So it'll be kind of fun for him to go full circle, especially now that he's culinary trained and competition judge trained for barbecue. So it'd be really cool to get those perspectives out of him. But also possibly getting Scott as a cameo or as a guest as well from Woodfire Grill.
Yeah, for sure. And those of you if you like me, the competition. I like to watch barbecue shows, and right now Netflix season 6 of Barbecue Brawl, it's out, and like we had Kevin Bledsoe on here. He was on Barbecue Brawl he got out right away. It was like really early. He got out. Tina Cannon almost won Barbecue Brawl. She was Leanne Whippen, who we had on here. She won the first ever Barbecue Brawl season. So that's going strong right now. If you like any of those things, because it's fun to watch what they do, what they make, and the ingredients they use and stuff. It's pretty crazy. And so I'm always rooting for the Backyard BBQ guy because they got a couple on there. It's pretty cool. So. But with that being said, gentlemen, I think we can wrap up episode 29. We'll get episode 30 coming quickly here. Also, I'll be putting stuff on the Instagram page where you can, I always want to say you can subscribe to like a private channel, and each week we'll send you a new recipe, something we talked about on here, things like that. So just for just following us that way, we'll try to throw some recipes your way to help you a little bit, or any tidbits or giveaways or things like that too as well. So, all right, gentlemen, I think it's time to sign off here. So if there's no last words, let our last words be smoke on. So count of 3, gentlemen. Smoke on, baby.
Okay.
Stop recording.